Hey guys, it's the Dark Master here, and welcome to my Q&A video. I want to say thank you for everyone who left a comment. Getting 14 was quite astounding. That's over 4 times the original amount I got last time, and frankly, I'm just thankful to have gotten so much support from my great fans. Also, sorry that there won't be a Kirby Right Back At You retrospective video today. I do already have it written and the audio recorded. I just won't have time to fully edit it until next week. Also, this video is not scripted for the most part, and that's just because I think this is more down to earth, more intellectually honest, just more friendly when it comes to Q&A videos to not write a script. The very first question comes from Magnificent Kirby 24, and he asks 2 questions. Why did you start making this channel? Did someone inspire you or what? As for why did I start making this channel? I'm not really sure what the exact incident was that caused me to want to make videos, but it would just probably be because I like to make videos. I don't really do this for fuck me. Wow. Jesus Christ. Anyway, as for what inspired me, I would say that what inspired me were when it comes to like my artistic inspiration, a lot of YouTubers come to mind, just too many to list, but they include Some Call Me Johnny, StixXNammer666, Razor Fist, Kraut and Tea, The Drunken Peasants, and the TTV channel. Yeah, it is raining outside. I went to a more interior room, so hopefully there won't be as much sound. I am leaving it in though, because that was freaking hilarious. The next comments come from Flapperjack. In addition to congratulating me on getting to 400 subscribers, he has 2 questions that he wished to ask. I have 2 questions I want to ask. 1, hot dogs or hamburgers? And 2, what will you do when your Kirby retrospective is done? Firstly, in terms of hot dogs or hamburgers, I'll be honest, I don't really like either. I've always been more of a chicken enthusiast. But if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose hamburgers. I mean, just hot dogs to me have always just been too disgusting to eat. I mean, have you ever seen those pictures of what hot dogs look like when they're being made? It looks like the pink stuff from The Blob, if you've ever seen that. It's just disgusting, and I can't in good conscience eat hot dogs. Yeah, I know people are going to say hamburgers are bad for the environment too, and that may be the case, but I can at least recognize it as actual meat. You don't know what they put in those hot dogs, man. It's disgusting. In terms of your second question as to what I will do once my Kirby Right Back At You retrospective is done, well, I have a Google Doc with a bunch of ideas that I intend to do. I'm actually going to do my Drunken Peasants 10-part expose video. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you're never going to do it. Oh, I am going to do it. It's just that because of my autism, I want to finish stuff that I get started. I really hate it when people will leave a series or a video series unfinished. And because of that, I can assure you it will come out, but not till this is done. As for other projects, I intend to do a video series on the Kirby games themselves at some point. I also intend to do a series of more educational videos where I talk about other things, such as the evolution of rhinos or the animals in Mississippi. Our next questions come from Kayla Joyce. Sorry if I mispronounce anybody's names. I humbly apologize. They ask 2 things. Would you also happen to be a fan of Sonic X, my other favorite next to Kirby? And also, how old are you? Firstly, am I a fan of Sonic X? Not really. To be honest, I really haven't played any of the Sonic games except the original one, and that was in a really bad Sega emulator. When it comes to the Sonic games, to be honest, I don't know what happened when they transitioned to 3D. Like, seriously, how hard is it? I mean, it's just bizarre to me that it seems that they experiment with every entry and completely just redo stuff that already works. I mean, there's a time and place for experimentation. But what does it say that Super Mario Sunshine, one of the most controversial, unique, and innovative Mario 3D game, is still miles ahead better than the majority of 3D Sonic games? And in terms of the animated shows, from what I can tell, I haven't watched any of these to completion as much as I've done Kirby. Most of them are just forgettable, bad. Sonic X, from what I know, is kind of infamous for the memes, but it's really not that good of a show. And as much as I try to give it a fair chance, I just couldn't enjoy it. It doesn't have the sort of charm that Kirby Right Back At Ya has. I'm real sorry if this offends you. That's just my honest opinion. I will say Sonic AM, the more dark, edgier one, actually has more value. I kind of hate it that nowadays we just sort of dismiss things that we perceive as quote unquote edgy, because honestly, a lot of edgy shows have a lot of redeeming qualities that more kiddie shows frankly do not. Our next question comes from Strawberry Milk, who asks, "What is your favorite character slash episode from the anime, and the least favorites?" Well, my favorite episode from the Kirby anime is really hard to pin down. I am currently in the process of reviewing all of them, so I recommend you watch those videos for a more in-depth thought on any particular episode. But in terms of my favorites, some of my favorites would have to be the one with Bonkers, which was pretty good. Fossil Fools, which we haven't reviewed yet. Also, A Princess in Distress is actually one of my favorite episodes, to be honest. It's quite a shame that there's a bit of a seedy underbelly to that episode. In terms of my least favorite episodes, I would say among my least favorite episodes would have to include episode 70, Buccaneer Birdie. It's a Takori focused episode, and Takori is just a terrible character. Honestly, that is just a terrible episode that I really don't like, but we're gonna have to get to that eventually. In terms of favorite characters, there's so many it's hard to choose from. I really like King Dedede, of course, Meta Knight as well. Those are fan favorites, so it doesn't really shock a lot of people when I say I like that. I also like Servicia. I think that's how you pronounced her name. I also like Knuckle Joe. I honestly like Tiff. A lot of people don't like her. They think she's annoying, but I genuinely think she makes a nice addition to the roster. I mean, she's a lot better than Adeline, in my opinion. In terms of characters that I don't like, it's hard to say, really. Takori, definitely. He is just a horrible bird. Like, just the most wretched bird to have ever existed in the history of animation. He is truly terrible. Most of the other quote unquote bad characters aren't really so much as bad as forgettable. I mean, who remembers Dr. Yabui, really? And that's not even getting into Bilibio, who is probably the most obscure character in all of Kirby. I mean, he doesn't even play a significant role in all just one episode. Like, who even remembers Biblio at all? Alpha Male E.T. Templar asks, "Hey, what's your top 5 hottest aliens in sci-fi slash video games?" Well, that's a bit of a difficult question. It's definitely very different from what I normally cover. To be honest, I really haven't played a lot of sci-fi video games, so I've never played Halo, so I can't really talk about, the lady from that. But in terms of top 5 hottest aliens, okay, so I like Samus. That's a pretty easy one. And this is in no particular order because I can't really rank them. I don't know as much as I do about other stuff. 8-8 is fine too. Does Dark Samus count as a separate character? I know they're technically two separate entities, but that seems kind of unfair, but I'll count that as well. Bayonetta is a good fourth, and in terms of fifth, I guess a good choice would be there was also that girl named Catherine from Endless Ocean. That was a pretty good character. She's perfectly fine. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to like which fictional character I find the most attractive. Sorry if that's a bit awkward. I will say, Endless Ocean and its spiritual predecessor and sequel, frankly, deserve to have videos made about them, and that's another thing I'm going to put on the docket. I just got to buy those games again. Also, a PlayStation 2. The next question comes from Quarty Pumpkin. He asks 3 questions. Okay, my dude, I have questions. Number 1, does life have meaning? Number 2, how do you know you really exist? Maybe you're just a character in a dream I am having. That feels it has sentience. Prove otherwise. 3, is Star Wars Lego the best Lego? Should we get governments to make them charge a fair price, not some wacky over-the-top prices Lego charges? Okay, your first question, does life have meaning? Now, of course, this is a debate between people who believe there's objective or subjective morality, but I do think that life does have some intrinsic meaning, at least in the sense that it has value. But my advice would be live your own life and just do the best you can. And you gotta find what meaning life has for you as an individual, if I'm being honest. As for your second question, how do you know that I really exist? Well, I think I exist. I guess you would. This is one of those unfalsifiable statements. Maybe you could get someone you trust to look up my YouTube channel and confirm whether or not I exist. Also, tell them to subscribe. But really, I mean, I don't know if this is meant to be like a serious question or a hypothetical. But I would say that if I'm able to make such, let's be honest, detailed videos, that I am sentient. I mean, let's be honest here. AI generated videos are just hot garbage. They can't write scripts, they can't make good editing, and plus, what company would make an AI to make content that I make? Like, no offense, but no one's watching my videos. And I'd like to first, before answering your third question, congratulating you on being the only person to ask me a question related to Lego, and that it being about Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is overpriced as heck, though the government can't really make them charge a fair price. Firstly, the courts would say that it's an extremely arbitrary decision on one specific luxury item. It wouldn't pass Congress. I'm sorry, a hot take, but Lego regulations are not gonna pass Congress. Plus, you wouldn't really want them because a lot of times regulations tend to backfire, meaning Lego might stop making as many Star Wars Legos. I mean, why make them if you're going to be forced to pay an arbitrary amount of like taxes or whatever? Honestly, my biggest issue with Star Wars Lego isn't even the prices. Oh, they are way too much. I would never buy them. But another issue I think is number 1, the lack of variability and really the underutilization of Star Wars as a brand. I mean, seriously. Why do we need an AT-AT every other year? I mean, they're all identical anyway. There really hasn't been a massive upgrade when it comes to the AT-AT, the Death Star, or like I guess the X-Wing in like a decade. Like there really hasn't been a significant upgrade. I mean, sure, the minifigures are arguably better, but why would you buy an entire set for those? Just get them off eBay or Brinklink. Also, can I just say, it kind of grosses me out that there's this huge EU that Lego never really took advantage of. I mean, yeah, there was a period from 2004 to about 2014 where they made EU sets, but they were so minuscule and underutilized. There was like one set based off The Force Unleashed, then there was the three sets released for the Star Wars The Old Republic. It just seems weird because honestly, that there just seems to have been so much potential that Lego never really took advantage of. I know the EU is no longer canon because Disney is terribly evil. Like, and it's real sad, really. And it's kind of funny too that they got rid of the EU because it was contradictory. But then a lot of their more recent stuff has also been contradictory, so just a load of BS. I did get one hate question, but I figure I might as well answer it anyway. Bubby Boy, who is a Drunken Peasants fanboy, asks, "All right then, do you regret paying $30 for your pixel art? Or are you so incapable of drawing you paid someone to do all your thumbnails situation?" I find it kind of funny that people make fun of my current avatar. I mean, the reason I even got a new avatar was because my old one that I drew myself was just terrible. There's no shame in recognizing you can't draw, so you get someone else to do it. As far as the thing, yeah, I paid my brother $30. I don't regret it. I mean, what's the issue here? I mean, he got money. I got a improved avatar. It doesn't seem so bad to me. Also, my thumbnails, I don't pay for my thumbnails. In fact, I make the ones that are either my Lego reviews or my Ninjago lore. However, yes, my brother does make the thumbnails for my Kirby videos. I honestly don't see the shame in asking someone who's arguably much better than me to do stuff for me. I mean, he's living in my house, for Pete's sake. You can say that it's immoral for me to ask him to do something when he's literally living in my house. So, like, eh, you do you, my guy. Interesting that you don't make content, though, but you feel the need to criticize what I do. Like, what is that supposed to even be? Some sort of knockoff, Little Big Planet guy? But let's end this Q&A on a more positive note. Bill Clark says, "I am quite the boomer, so I've missed the past couple of Q&As. So I'll ask three to make up for it. Number one, what is your favorite species of animal found in Mississippi? 2. What are the plans for your future content? 3. What is your opinion on John Morgan and Animancer? I know Animancer made a recent 30-minute segment complaining because you left a comment on another person's channel." That's technically 4 questions, but let's start from the beginning, shall we? In terms of my favorite species of animal found in Mississippi, to be honest, that is sort of a hard decision because I just love so many animals. But I would have to say the favorite animal that I've personally held in my hand would have to be the oak toad. If you don't know what the oak toad is, or Bufo corsicus as it's scientifically referred to, it is this adorable little toad only found in the southern part of the state that is just this adorable little creature. I mean, if you hold it in your hand, you think it's like a baby toad. It's so tiny. And it has this bright orange, sometimes it's bright yellow, sometimes it's bright white, stripe on the back. And frankly, it's just adorable. It looks so cute. Plus, its call sounds like baby chicks, which just makes it even more adorable. I have personally seen a few of them in places really far down south. So, and I definitely think you should at least experience them at least once in your life. They do kind of blend in, though, to the sandy coloration of the ground, so you might have a bit of an issue finding them. But if you look, you will find them. As for your second question, I technically already answered a question similar to this, but to keep it brief, my plans for future content include making a video series expose on the drunken peasants, making some videos about the evolution of rhinos and giraffes, making a video series on Kirby, making some video series on the animals of Mississippi, and just, a lot of stuff, really. And, okay, I guess we're going to have to end this on a bit of a controversial thing. Let's start with John Morgan first, because I don't have as much to say about him. I kind of find John Morgan as a person kind of a curiosity, to be honest. So this guy, like, out of nowhere, started playing my content. I don't know why he did it even. I'd never even heard of the guy beforehand. And basically, he's sort of like a DP clone, except he has like no cadence at all. Honestly, you listen to him, you think he's gonna shoot up a school. He's a fucking sociopath with like no tone of voice. He makes these long, just unwatchable podcasts that, like, who fucking watches this shit, right? And funny thing, he like contacted me asking me, because at the time I had more subscribers. In fact, I find it funny. He calls me a nobody. He has less than half my subscribers, but whatever. He um contacted me, right? And he asked my honest opinion on how he could improve his content. And I told him, listen, nobody wants to watch your fucking podcasts. Honestly, to goodness. If you truly want your channel to grow, number one, you have to get a consistent schedule. But number two, I recommended that he do a Tim Pool thing where he makes these shorter news videos. And because I think his voice, although I made fun of it, could legitimately work in that sort of context. It doesn't work though, and of course he brushed me off and said that I was a incel. Which is kind of funny because I've had sex and he hasn't, as far as I can tell. But whatever. My biggest issue with him, however, came when he like spread a bunch of fucking bullshit and lies about me. First, for example, first he said that I like called Pimp a pedophile, which I never fucking did. What really happened was there was this live stream with this like unattractive black hooker, Miss Parker, and like basically I was asked basically like what my thoughts on like the pimp monk uh, allegations were, and I said that I was like looking into it, but I didn't really have an opinion. I still don't, by the way. I still really don't know what to think about the guy, though he did false flag my channel and never fucking apologized for it. And I then talked about that and said I didn't like him in the previous Q&A video. And John Morgan, in a bout of what I can only assume was some sort of meth-induced uh, hypnosis or whatever, convinced people and basically said that I called Pimp Monk a pedophile because I said I didn't like him in a Q&A video, and the things about the Miss Parker interview. And it's just like, man, fuck off. Why the fuck do I owe a guy who fucking false flagged my channel respect? Like, no offense, dude, but I'm pretty sure if someone flagged your video and you complained about it, he couldn't just turn around and be like, "Oh, you're complaining about calling me false flagging your channel? You fucking called me a pedophile. Fuck you." It's like so fucking stupid. Like, it's just a non sequitur. He also accused me of like some other allegations I don't really want to get into. Honestly, I could make an entire video about John Morgan and his pedantic pedestrian podcast. Like how he, for some reason, when he had like 3 videos of mine on like a playlist, that he was watching, he decided to watch the announcement of a Q&A, the Q&A, which is stupid. Why would you watch the announcement video to a Q&A and not the Q&A itself? At that point, it's not even worth watching because the Q&A video's out. And I want to say, it's very noticeable that he didn't address anything I fucking said in the Red Eye video, which is honestly the the only time in quite some period of time that I've even done this quote-unquote drama. So I don't know, man. Honestly, my Red Eye video, it seems like it stood the test of time. And nothing I've said in that has ever been refuted or debunked in any way, so I count that as a win. I do want to end this, however, by saying if John Morgan wants me on his really unwatchable podcast, I'd be more than willing to go. I'm not like him, right? Here's the funny thing. He blocked me from his comment section before I even had the chance to interact with him. So he's a fucking pussy. Fuck him, honestly. Seriously, how are you gonna be able to talk shit about me, but then be too much of a coward to address me? If you talk shit about someone, I don't think you have the right to block them from your fucking comment section. It's just a sign of cowardice. And I know Miss Parker, your fucking black buddy, is gonna be like, well, you have the right to block anyone you want. And that's technically fucking true, but it does violate the principle of freedom of speech, not the law. Which, funny, you could never tell the fucking difference because she kept conflating the two and fucking making false allegations. So fuck her. But have a good day, John. Animator, a far more successful idiot, though. Well, I think I should probably provide a little context. Now, there's this guy named Negs. I'm not really a big fan of his content. I mean, I know who he is, but in all honesty, I don't really know much about him. I do kind of find it funny that people like Shabisky and Pitmonk give him shit, because if you really think about it, he's not really done anything that's more morally questionable than anything they have done. Every single thing they accuse him of doing is just stuff that they did to people like Brett Keane. You're the same person. You just don't like it when someone treats you the way you treat other people. But regardless, one thing that Negs did was he talked about the Animancer allegations, the extremely credible allegations that have never ever been debunked, no matter how many times people say it. Granted, he's not the first person to talk about it. Other credible people, such as Will Kincaid or Honest Red, have made similar allegations, which, by the way, have never actually been refuted. Again, I want to stress this because they've never been refuted. Every time they're addressed, it's just like, oh, Will Kincaid's a Jew, that's why he's stupid, or Honest Red is a indigenous person, that's why he's stupid. They attack the person, not necessarily what is actually being said, and frankly, it's actually kind of disgusting, and just goes to show that progressive people can be just as fucking racist and bigoted as the right-wingers they love to mock so much. And so basically, Negs made a video, and essentially, Animancer and his incel friends basically bullied the guy until he was forced to make an apology. And frankly, I said he didn't deserve one, which he doesn't. Those allegations have never been refuted. They never have, no matter how many times he says they have. I guess if you just repeat a lie enough, it becomes true. Whatever, I left that comment right. And this guy who, I swear he has to fucking search his name because I have no idea how he even saw that comment. But first off, he said, "You're gosh darn right I deserved an apology." Sort of the movie Bob arrogance sort of style. And then he made a 30-minute segment on his unwatchable podcast. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could make an entire video about that and Animancer as a whole, but again, like John Morgan, I think I'll save that for the distant future. But he did say a few things that I want to address one by one. Firstly, he pretends oh, I was nice to the Dark Master, but then he was he lies basically.
I was tolerant of this person for a very long time. You remember that shit? I tried.
Yeah, you
I
were.
tried so fucking hard.
Okay, so this is the first lie. Animancer was never nice to me. He was a toxic sack of shit from the moment we knew each other. consider this. He just couldn't stand the fact that I was fan of like two YouTubers that he just has a hate boner for. Stick Sexhammer and Razor Fist. And by the way, the only reason he doesn't like those people is because his buddy TJ told him not to like him. He's one of those people that hates people just because some pseudo-intellectual bigweight tells him to. Anyway, so he hated me from the very beginning. Don't let him fucking pretend otherwise. And this was really the only significant interaction I had with him. So he challenged me to a debate for whatever the fuck reason. So after challenging like me to a debate, I approached him on Discord and said, "Okay, well, I would be willing to have a debate, but like you got to give me like a heads up like when you want to set this time." And he said, "Okay, I'll tell you on the weekend when I want to debate." So time passed, and then we got to the weekend. And it's, in essence, the weekend came, and I asked him, "Okay, so do you have the time ready?" And he's like, "Fuck you! Don't you know I'm a transsexual? How dare you ask me when the fuck have a debate?" Even though, like, he told me to ask him on the fucking weekend that he asked me to ask him on the weekend to set up a debate. So I was only doing what he asked me to. And then he fucking blocked me. And he claimed that I was forcing him to do something. Like, how does that get to fucking work? Like, you challenge me to a debate, but then get pissy when I confront you? What kind of brain dead logic is that? And also in this live stream, he had some of his fucking shitty moderators talk shit. And I'm just gonna address like three of them. Two of them were in the video, one was in the live chat. And I think I'll address them one at a time.
Like a sense in them anyways. I've seen most of their content and I'm not impressed.
I love how this guy thinks his opinion matters on anything. Bitch, you're a fucking no-name moderator for a dying Discord of an irrelevant YouTuber. You don't make any fucking content. Like, I don't, what do you mean, oh, I'm unimpressed? What the fuck do you want me to make? You know what I mean? You want me to do what your buddy, the fucking pseudo-intellectual animator does and make these hour-long live streams that nobody wants to fucking watch? Like, I mean, at least be intellectually honest enough to just say, hey, you know, this content's not for me, but I respect it. Because I get a lot of feedback from these videos, and guess what? A lot of people like them. You don't have to. I'm not saying you do, but like, cut this fucking macho man bullshit. Oh, I'm unimpressed. As if you really have any room to talk.
He decided to, when he came into the Underhaven server, within 5 to 10 minutes, he attempted to pedo jacket somebody because he...
Okay, so I just want to put the record out there. I never called Animancer a pedophile on the Discord. Heck, I wasn't even aware of the extremely credible and never been debunked allegations. I wanna make that very good because fuckers like this like to rewrite history and say, "Oh, it's been debunked." No, it hasn't. It's never been debunked. It's never even been fucking honestly addressed by Animancer. Fuck you. It's never been addressed. But also, I never called him that. I was kicked from the Discord before I was even aware of those allegations. So I don't know what crack you're on, but fucking stop. It's clearly infecting your Euro trash mind. The closest thing I can remember is that I was having a debate with this Euro trash fuckwit about how it's stupid to call Trump a fascist because he's white, because there's nothing intrinsic about white people that makes them fascist. It would be like saying that LGBT people are pedophiles. There's nothing intrinsic to that.
That turn to that accusation of the P word, you minimize actual children that have gone through that.
You know, I don't even know this woman's name, and I frankly don't give a fuck to find out. She's so irrelevant to everything. But let's honestly think about what she's saying. If you are against something, it's more likely for X thing to happen. Well, bitch, I guess we shouldn't have laws against rape, murder, and incest. Seriously, what kind of brain-dead fucking logic is this? Oh, if you're against pedophilia, it means pedophilia is more likely to happen. Like, this is honestly just pedophilia apologetics. Like, my dude, like, do you think this makes you in the LGBT community look good that you're playing defense for this shit? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the actual fuck? Like, how morally bankrupt do you have to be to make the argument that being against pedophilia means you cause pedophilia? That's brain dead stupid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. What's up, Frank? Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Not to mention the person you are throwing that accusation at can be harmed if someone decides it's exactly. And
So crude as fuck. I remember you. You played a video where I was in a live stream with Will Kincaid. So crude as fuck. You talk about how throwing accusations is bad because someone can be harmed if they take action against them because of that lie. Firstly, that's never gonna fucking happen. But number two, I distinctly remember you accusing Will Kincaid of raping his own child for no reason other than fucking spite. How dare you morally grandstand about this shit? You are perfectly willing to just throw bullshit accusations against people you don't like. Here's the fucking clip.
He talks about me every once in a while, just mentions my name. And I clicked on a video, and of course, you know, I had a kid and whatnot. Kids crying in the background. It was very pedophilic. How about that?
Okay, so Animats or Underhaven, whatever fucking username you're using, you've had 20 of them. You don't deserve an apology, especially in this regard, because you've never addressed these credible allegations that have never been debunked, no matter how many times your brain-dead fans say it is. Also, you've been toxic to literally everyone I've ever talked to about you. So I don't really know what you're getting off at. You're a piece of shit who not only came out as trans to defend this, you literally pressured your friend Jamie Darkay to come out as trans just as a smokescreen because of the allegations levied at you by Ben. Now, I don't like Ben. I don't like him either. But, like, it's kind of scummy that you use the trans community as a shield from valid criticisms of inappropriate relationships with a minor. As for your moderators, EJ Hyen, you're a fucking leftist Euro trash who has nothing of value to say to this conversation whatsoever. You think saying Donald Trump is a fascist because he's white is a credible argument. Fuck you, and you fucking know it. You will never be anything of substance. You are a shitty fucking moderator for a dying goddamn Discord of a dying YouTuber. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. As for this bitch, whose name I don't even want to know, you're so insignificant, I'm not even gonna insult you. As for crude as fuck, go fuck yourself, you white guilt-riddled fucking loser. You falsely accused Will Kincaid of raping his own child just out of spite because he criticized you. And because you couldn't stand the fact that he made a good video exposing Animancer. Sorry that the end of this video was a bit of a rant. I just can't stand these moral aggrandizing creeps. And I felt they needed to be addressed. I just didn't want to give them like a full-on video, at least not right now. If you're watching this video, feel free to share it to them. They'll probably block you because they block anyone who's a fan of my content on their channels. Like, they're all a bunch of cowards, frankly. Anyway, I'm the Dark Master, and don't worry, regular content will begin again next week. Have a nice day. Peace out.